So before I begin, I thought it's kind of important to address what exactly period poverty is, because it may be an unfamiliar term to a lot of you guys in the audience. So period poverty is a very big global issue that's oftentimes kind of shut in the dark. Um, and it affects a lot of women and girls who don't have access to safe sanitary products, things that they deserve, things that, it's like a natural thing. So they don't have access to these hygienic sanitary products. And due to this, they're unable to manage their periods with dignity. And this could be due to like the community stigma that they're faced with from friends or family members, or just society in general that tells them that their menstrual cycles are something to be embarrassed about. It's something that makes you dirty, which it's completely not. And globally, a minimum of 500 million women experience period poverty every single month. Think about that number, 500 million women. Um, and among the 355 million menstruators in India, 12% cannot afford period products. And similarly, in Kenya, 65% of females are unable to afford products as well. That's more than half of the female population in Kenya that cannot get these products that they deserve. So just think about that. And this is kind of the fact that really stuck out to me. Many girls actually skip or drop out of school due to their periods, and they lose days of their education. And this could be just because everyone's period and everyone's cycle is different. And this may be because they have really bad cramps, or their cycle lasts more than a week, and just going through this cycle at school because maybe they don't have pads or tampons like a lot of us have access to. So going to school would be really hard, and so they just drop out of school and they lose their education and a little bit of their future as well. So I thought that was really what stuck out to me, and this is kind of what brought me to my passion. So, what is my goal and my mission? Number one, I want to help end period poverty. I know this is like a really big goal, and a really big mission, but I feel like if a lot of us start, making changes and helping a lot of people out, we would be able to go through this goal as a whole. And number two, I want to help spread awareness and educate others about this issue, kind of like how I'm doing at this TED Talk. I really want to help break the silence. A lot of you guys may not even know about this. And I think by educating others and, learning about this, you become one of the people, you become someone who could help others as well. And, talk about this with your friends. Hey, did you know about period poverty? It's this really big issue, and a lot of people are facing this, and kind of educate other people as well. So a lot of us start to know about it. Number three, I want to help make period products more accessible in school bathrooms. I know a lot of friends, including myself, who's had a personal experience. And it was kind of due to the school bathrooms not having these products in hand. So we're sort of working on that. And number four, I want to donate products to shelters around the Bay Area and then soon internationally. And kind of like later in the presentation, I will be going through all the different projects that we have done in the shelters that we've donated to. So, how did I find my passion for advocating for menstrual equity? And this refers to like equal access to hygiene products, but also education about reproductive health. And I'd say this kind of started when I first got my period. I was about 13, and then we went to India, and we just went for the summer, so about like 2 months, to spend time with family and friends. And while I was walking along the streets, I live in a very big city, so there is a very big homeless population in that city. And I was just walking along the streets with my family, and I was just noticing how many teens like me and just women in general were on the streets, and you could tell they were homeless. And I sort of put myself in perspective here, and I was just thinking about it like, wow, like they're the same age as me, and I had my period, so they probably did too. I was just thinking about it, and I was like, well, how do they, keep their menstrual cycles? Like, how do they have a clean menstrual cycle? A lot of them probably don't even have pads or tampons, since they don't have a lot of money to buy food and things like that. And I think that's where I pretty much found my passion. That's like the first half of where my passion kind of came from. And the second half was sort of when I was browsing online on my Instagram, and I came across this girl from American high school, and she had been doing a bunch of projects with international projects in places like India, more regarding education. And I sort of reached out to her because I saw that she had like a bunch of ambassadors who do projects. And I DM'd her and I was like, hey, I think whatever you're doing is amazing. I looked more into it. And I was wondering if I could do a project with you. And she agreed. And then we sort of met up on Zoom and we started the project. And I guess those two experiences really brought my passion for this. And this is something that I'm really passionate about and I want to continue in the future as well. And I thought it's important to share with you guys as well. So hopefully this inspires you. And this brought me to creating Periods for Power, my nonprofit. And with this, nonprofit organization, we've done a bunch of different projects, and I'll be going over them in the next couple slides. So this was our first project, and this was the first ever one that I've ever done. All the other projects that followed were kind of just like, because this one went so successful, I was really inspired to continue on. We received Days for Girls kits, which are basically just reusable kits. Here in the second picture, they're all hand sewn by volunteers around the world, and we actually received these kits from Alabama. It took me a long time to contact different organizations, and I was just like, I was kind of getting a little like I was losing motivation because a lot of them were just saying, no, we can't help you with this right now due to the pandemic starting. It was just getting a little bit harder. And until I reached Days for Girls. And this is where they were just like, I got into contact with the team in Alabama and they were like, yeah, we'd love to send you products. And the local church actually made all of them and sent it to us. And that's where we donated to California Covenant House in Oakland. And this is a homeless shelter that serves a lot of teens over 18 to 24, I believe. And these are teens that have been through homelessness, trafficking, abuse, like so many other things. So I think just donating to them and like realizing how much of an impact I've made really inspired me to keep going on my projects. And this was our second project. We actually made our own kits and we started a GoFundMe. I started a GoFundMe with the girl that I was talking about from American. This is our project as well. And we funded over, I think, $200. And then I went out and kind of bought all the materials needed. We had masks, we had soap, washcloths, we had like little bags, and we made a bunch of different kits as shown here, and we ended up donating these to the Home First shelter in Milpitas. And Home First basically donates all of these products to like families in need. And that's where I was just thinking about it. And I was like, I'm glad to have made an impact in some families' lives as well, because if you think about it, a lot of families are put through the pressure where they're just like, should we spend money on menstrual products, which are really, really expensive if you think about it? Or should we spend that money that could be used on food for our whole family? So if there's only one woman in the family, usually she kind of has to sacrifice getting clean products to, feeding the whole family, feeding her kids. So I was just like, you know what, I'm happy that I was able to make a difference in their lives where they were just at least one or two of their cycles. She doesn't have to think about, which one should I choose? Which should I, get it for myself, or should I help feed the entire family? So that was really important to me. And then this was a third project. This was when I sort of formed my own team. And here's Gia. And basically in this project, I think this was my most favorite project. This was when we received a grant from America's Promise. We received, I think, $200. I applied to it and we ended up getting it. And this was during the holidays. So we also held like a little card drive where different people from like different communities, a lot of people from San Ramon actually helped in, and they made inspirational cards and we put these into the kits. And all of the money that we got from the grant we used to buy the products and different things. And we also were able to get into contact with a local mask making organization, and we were able to receive, I think, 250 masks from them. And because of COVID, we thought it was important to include those into our kits. And we ended up making a lot of kits as seen on the right-hand side picture. And we donated this to Tri-Valley Haven in Livermore. And this is a pretty far shelter from Fremont. But I looked into their goals, and I thought it was pretty important to me to sort of go into diverse areas, instead of just sticking to Fremont, or just like neighboring cities. So we went to Tri Valley Haven, and again, this was during the holidays, but you can't see in the picture, but on the other side of the camera there was like a bunch of toys and gifts all just wrapped. So I knew that these were going to go to good, kids and like girls and women that are in need of them. So that made me really happy. And then this was our fourth project. We actually came together during one of our officer meetings, and we were just thinking about, like how many students at our school probably don't have access to these products. So our school actually has this thing called grab and goes. And because of the pandemic, a lot of kids aren't able to, I guess, get lunches that they would normally get from provided by the school during lunchtime. So we thought, why not, reach out and also provide menstrual packs, because what if they're not able to get the pads or the tampons that they normally need during their cycle? So we sort of did that. We came into contact with the counselors and then the principal, and then we ended up going there and donating those. So hopefully those went to kids in need of those products. And then our fifth project, this was a little bit of a smaller one. And this was because of Period. We got into contact with Period, and they were able to send us, and they still do send us, so many menstrual products. They're kind of like our suppliers of the products that we put into our kits. And we donated this to Save in Fremont. It's a great mission. On the back, you could sort of see their mission: strengthen every individual and family we serve. And I actually knew about Save since they used to come to my middle school and talk about, healthy relationships and all that stuff. So that's where I kind of knew about Save. And then I contacted them and I was like, hey, like, do you guys need products? And you can like distribute them to like different menstruators in need. And they were like, yeah, of course we could do that. So I kind of drove there. I think donated about 1,000 or more products thanks to Period, and we do frequent donations there. So the last one was, I think, 2 to 3 weeks ago. So we just supply them whenever they get low on products. And now I'm going to be talking about our collaborations and partners. So Bloody Buddy Cup, this is like a menstrual cup brand, and we got into contact with them and sort of just set something up. And I was just like, hey, like, we're doing all this stuff. Would you be able to donate some products to us so we could help distribute them? And then the CEO was just like, yeah, that's such a great idea. And she actually ended up donating over 100 menstrual cups, and we still have yet to donate them, because menstrual cups, if you know, are a little bit harder to use, and they are a little bit more different from like pads and tampons. They are reusable. So not only is it like helping the environment, but these could be used for like over 10 years, I believe. So we're just trying to find the best people that would be willing to try them out and use them. And as of now, I think we are looking into partnering with Hippies Brew. So some of them said that they were interested in trying them out. So yeah, that's Bloody Buddy Cup. And then Masking a Difference, which I talked about in the beginning a little bit. They supplied us with a lot of their face masks. And obviously, since the pandemic has started, we thought it was important to add in the face mask to each package that we receive, so that everyone that gets it would be able to, have a mask, since a lot of them don't. And they gave us a lot of different face masks, and these are all hand sewn by volunteers across the Bay Area. So we received those and we were able to put those into our kits. And then Period, which is our biggest supplier and biggest partner, we received over like 15,000 products from them, just them. And I think that's like crazy, because they do all of these and we're like a service partner of them. So we received pads and tampons, we received Diva cups. Here's the other side. We received Diva cups, and this was the most recent one on the right, where we received like individual packages of maxi pads and also always pads. And I recently actually went into my community, like, I don't know what it's called, but there's like a little box. I think it's a pantry. So we have like a little neighborhood pantry where people can donate things, and I ended up going and donating these pads into them. And this is a current project that we're sort of working to, hopefully, fingers crossed, get implemented into the schools in Alameda County by next year. We are trying to put in menstrual products and this dispenser into the bathrooms of the schools. I know a lot of people, my friend actually, for one, she was talking to me about how much when once she got her period at school and she needed a tampon, but thankfully there was a dispenser in the bathroom, right? But she put in her quarter or whatever, however much she put in, and she ended up turning it and nothing came out. So not only did she lose a quarter, but she also didn't get any products, and she had to sort of, cover up and go through the day knowing that she had her period and there was nothing at all she could do about it. And I guess maybe it was a little hard for her to ask around people or friends like, hey, do you have a pad, or hey, do you have a tampon? Sometimes it is a little embarrassing to ask around. And it's just like we have to be so quiet about it. Like, I for one know when I have my period and I don't have a powder tampon in hand, I have to ask around, and then I have to sort of hide it and go to the bathroom. And I just think, like, why do we need to hide it? Why do we need to hide something that is natural to us and something that we should be passionate about? It's like a part of us, right? So that's why we're trying to implement these. We're sort of working with the county right now. Hopefully we get them implemented by next school year. So it'll help a lot of people. So our impact so far, we have made over 300 menstrual kits, whether they or donated over 300 menstrual kits, whether they be from Days for Girls or they're our own. So we did that. And then we've also donated, or at least we have donated over 10,000 menstrual products, pads, tampons from Period, from other suppliers, from the grant that we received that allowed us to buy pads or tampons. We've donated over, I think, 10 to 15,000. But alongside from the numbers, besides the numbers, I feel like we've impacted a bunch of women around the Bay Area itself. Like, because of us, because of something small that I, thought about in the beginning, we were able to come together and donate over so many products and impact the lives of so many different women and help out their cycles that sometimes they might have become hopeless about. And just thinking about how much such a small project of my idea, just like helping a little group of people, it turned into such a big impact that I keep wanting to continue. I want to continue this even when I'm in college, even when I have a job. This will be something that I'm always going to be passionate about and talking to people about. Hey, did you know about period? Do you know about period poverty? Or do you know about menstrual equity? Or do you know about this? And hopefully, by educating others and a lot of you guys that are here today listening to this, hopefully this inspires you to start making a change and talking about things that you're passionate about, so that other people know about it and it helps your community grow as one. So yeah, thank you for listening to my speech or presentation. And hopefully you learned something from today. Thank you.